What's going on, guys? Today I'm back with another hat format replay review for you guys. If you're interested in sending in your hat format replays, you can go down to the video description and find all the information on how to go about sending those in. Anyways, the matchup I have for you today, we have F3DE391, who is going to be on Geargia hands. I'm probably just going to call them like 3D or something like that, because unfortunately I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce that. Apologies for that. And their opponent is going to be Vulpix96, who is going to be on gadgets. Hopefully this will be a good match, but the only way to know for sure is to actually check it out. So without further ado, let's get started. Here it looks like 3D is going to win the rock, paper, scissors and get to start this one out. Opening hand, we see Accelerator, Geargia Armor, bottomless trap hole, and fire hand. So honestly, a very strong hand here. And on the other side, we see a double summon, yellow gadget, fiendish chain, soul charge, and yellow gadget. So not a terrible hand on the other side either. And here 3D is going to get a draw for turn, getting a copy of soul charge. So even better. And here it looks like they are just going to play it slow and go and set that copy of armor, set to back row, and over to Vulpix, who now gets a copy of breakthrough skill. From here, it looks like yellow gadget is going to be summoned, using its effect to add a copy of green gadget. After that, activating that copy of double summon to additional normal summon, this time summoning the copy of green gadget and grabbing a copy of red gadget. After that, we are going to see Vulpix go into an Xyz, going into a copy of 101, playing it a little safe, particularly if they think that this is a fire hand or something like that, then this is a very safe play for them here. And here it looks like going to battle phase and attacking in, and we are going to see that that is that armor, and armor's going to add a copy of Accelerator, and then the armor gets destroyed. Going main phase 2, Vulpix is going to set a couple back row and proceed to try to pass turn, but in end phase, 3D is going to activate that copy of Gear, summoning a copy of Geargiano and MK2. Keep in mind, both of these will be considered level 4 because of Gear. Here, 3D draws into a copy of breakthrough skill, and let's see how they choose to start their turn. They're going to start by going for a copy of Accelerator and then overlaying into a copy of Geargigan X. After that, using the effect, detaching the Geargiano, but Vulpix is going to go and use that copy of Fiendish Chain. And after that, we will see the other copy of Accelerator special summoned, and the way they played that out, kind of Vulpix probably could have had an idea that they had another Accelerator in hand potentially, given they went and actually special summoned the copy of Accelerator before making their Xyz. It kind of shows that they needed the extra Geargia on board, so that is just something to keep in mind. But anyways, after that, we are going to see another Geargigan summoned and using the effect, detaching the Accelerator, and that one is going to be met with the copy of breakthrough skill. After that, they are going to take a second to think, just going to battle phase and attacking in with the Gear Gigant that had the breakthrough skill, and here Vulpix will protect it by detaching the copy of green gadget. Main phase 2, we're going to see Feed set that copy of breakthrough skill of their own and pass it over to Vulpix, who gets a copy of Dark Hole, which is definitely not a bad card in this situation. We will see the Dark Hole activated, clearing the Gear Gigants, and the 101 can protect itself here. And here we will see the Gigants triggering, summoning the Geargiano and the MK2. Now keep in mind, while Gear Gigant can miss timing and things of those sorts, both of these do activate at the same time, and therefore they can be on the same chain here. And after that, Vulpix is going to summon that copy of Red Gadget, adding a copy of Yellow Gadget, and going to battle phase, just clearing those Geargianos back over to 3D, who now gets another copy of Fire Hand, and it looks like they are going to summon it, going into battle phase, attacking into the 101. The Fire Hand can then pop that copy of 101, summoning a copy of Ice Hand, going to battle phase, and clearing the Red Gadget. After that, just passing turn, Vulpix will get a copy of Tin Goldfish, which is a great draw for them here, even though we know that 3D has a copy of Breakthrough Skill, which they are going to use on the Tin Goldfish effect on normal summon, but Vulpix does have the Soul Charge, so they are going to go for, it looks like 3 gadgets, so that could be pretty big for them, going for green, red, and yellow. And here all of them are going to trigger, except the red, it looks like, I'm guessing because they're out of targets, maybe because of the one on board and 2 in hand. But here we will see the others added to hand. So lots of gadgets, not a lot of back row. Let's see what they go for. Going for a copy of 101, but that is going to be met with bottomless. Yes, the 101 can protect itself, but it means that Vulpix here will not be able to use the effect to clear the ice hand here. And after that, they're thinking, maybe looking at their grave, they don't even have enough to go for something like an Emerald to try to put some resources back and draw into something. Instead, going for a copy of King of the Feral Imps, which they can detach a material and get a copy of Kagado Kage, guaranteeing that they get another rank 4 on the following turn. After that, just passing turn and over to 3D, who gets another copy of Geargia Gear, and looking at their graveyard, they should still have 2 copies of MK2 in deck, so this is technically live for them there. And let's see what they choose to do. Maybe even summoning Firehand and going into a 101 of their own before going for a Soul Charge play. So far, so good on that prediction. Here we are going to see a 101 summon going for a King of the Feral Imps. Oh, but instead it looks like they are going to go and try to crash, activating Breakthrough Skill on the opposing 101. And yeah, so they will be able to clear Vulpix's 101, and their own copy can just detach a material, keeping it around, and then main phase 2 setting that copy of Geargia Gear and holding the Soul Charge. So actually very nicely played for them. Here Vulpix draws into a copy of Lance, and let's see what they're going to choose to do here. Summoning a copy of Yellow Gadget using the effect and chaining that Kagado Kage. The Kagado Kage is summoned, and a copy of Green Gadget is added to hand here, going and then overlaying into another copy of King of the Feral Imps, detaching the Yellow Gadget and getting another Kagado Kage for follow-up, going into the battle phase, attacking over that copy of 101 before setting the Lance. In end phase, we are going to see 3D activate that copy of Geargia Gear, summoning 2 copies of MK2. Again, they will be level 4, and then drawing for turn, getting a copy of Fiendish Chain. From here, they are going to take a second to think, probably have to be a little cautious of whatever that back row is, because there definitely are a lot of punishes here. Going instead for a copy of Geargia and playing it safe, detaching a material, and adding back a MK2 from graveyard, which actually is very good because now they can normal summon it using the effect, bringing back an MK2 and maybe a Soul of Silver Mountain. No, instead going for a copy of Acid Golem. And I guess that actually makes sense given they would have had to like crash this if they wanted to out it. So instead, yep, going and using the Acid Golem attacking in, but we are going to see that Lance activated, which will actually clear that copy of Acid Golem. And now 3D is going to make the decision to actually crash the Geargia and can summon back the copy of Geargiano. And looks like it's just going to attack in main phase 2 using the Geargiano and bringing back a copy of Accelerator before setting a back row and over to Vulpix, who, wow, another great draw for them here, getting a copy of Tin Goldfish. So the rank 4s just keep on coming here, summoning that copy of Tin Goldfish using the effect, chaining the Kagado Kage, and 3D is going to think here, something, they say it's good, so we are seeing the Kagado Kage summon, the Green Gadget will be summoned, the Green Gadget can activate, adding the copy of Red Gadget, and if I'm not mistaken, that should be all the gadgets out of deck. There's 2 red there, there's 3 yellow, because the 2 engrave and 1 at hand, and we see, the other green is on board. So yeah, that is all the gadgets out of deck here. So let's see what they're going to do here. And it looks like overlaying into a copy of Karen Gorgon and going to battle phase, attacking in with the Green Gadget over the Accelerator. Accelerator can add back the copy of MK2, and then we will see the Karen Gorgon attacking in for quite a lot of damage. And here 3D gets a copy of Torrential for turn, which is a great draw for them as well, given we know that Vulpix doesn't have much back row. We see the MK2 summon, bringing back the other copy of MK2, going, and this time going into Soul of Silver Mountain because they can attack over the Green Gadget, and then Soul of Silver Mountain can use its effect to bring back that copy of Armor, using the Armor effect in main phase 2 to flip itself face down, setting the Torrential and back over to Vulpix, who gets a copy of Double Summon, so another great card given how many cards they have here. And let's see how they choose to go about this. Summoning the Red Gadget, Double Summon, going for the Yellow Gadget, and then from here going into their own copy of Geargia X, using the effect and getting a copy of Tin Goldfish. Next, going into battle phase, Karen Gorgon is going to clear the Soul of Silver Mountain. Geargigant can attack into the Armor, and Armor's going to add a copy of Arsenal, and then the Armor gets destroyed. Back over to 3D, who now gets a copy of Crow. And at this point, this has been a very back and forth game here. And let's see, here we see the Fiendish Chain activated on the Geargia. A little interesting why they're doing that, maybe just trying to clear the number of cards here. We are going to see the Arsenal summon using the effect getting a copy of Armor, and after that using the effect to set it. So, a little interesting. Maybe they were preemptively doing that just to make sure that, this won't be able to attack, and so then they'll be able to survive a turn, but very interesting play there, playing it out this slow. They could have even just gone for a torrential play if they wanted, and then a soul charge play, given they weren't going to attack or anything. That was a very interesting play from 3D here. Anyways, over to Vulpix, who gets a Fiendish Chain of their own. And from here, let's see what they choose to do. Normal summoning a copy of Tin Goldfish, using the effect summoning a copy of Green Gadget, overlaying into a copy of 103 Ragnazero. And here we are going to see that copy of Torrential coming down. So Vulpix is just going to have to set one and over to 3D, who gets a Dark Hole. And now we are finally seeing that copy of Soul Charge activated, going for a copy of Armor, Accelerator, and Accelerator. And so life is getting pretty low for 3D here, who's going to overlay into a copy of Emerald, using the effect detaching the Accelerator, putting back Geargia, MK2, and MK2. But that is going to be met with the copy of Fiendish Chain, so very rough here, but they can still use the Armor to flip itself face down and pass it over to Vulpix, who gets a Soul Charge, and they do have some life left, but it is going to put them very low as well, going and Soul Charging the Tin Goldfish, and Green Gadget, which the Crow is going to be on the Green Gadget, so the 2 Tin Goldfish will still summon, going for a copy of Cowboy, trying to, play it slow here, and using the Cowboy, burning for 800, and then passing it over to 3D, who gets a copy of Soul Charge, which just isn't going to do it. And keep in mind, this Cowboy does have a lot of defense. The other thing, though, that they probably, might not have thought about is just this Armor being here in general. Given that we've only seen, one copy of Arsenal, so I guess there's no real way to say, hey, you should play around the one of Dark Hole, but the Dark Hole can just kind of clear the board here after flipping up the Armor, and if the Armor adds a copy of the Arsenal, that's going to be just about game, pretty close, but there's a couple other routes they could go as well. Let me check the graveyard on how many accelerators have been used here. 1... And, there's one here, so 2. So if anything, they might have another, and they can just make a rank 4, something like a copy of Black Ship of Corn, kind of deals with that. They definitely have a lot of plays here, flipping up the Armor, getting a copy of Arsenal, as we thought here, going and Dark Holing, so kind of just in a different order than what I said, and summoning that copy of Arsenal, swinging in, and now this is going to be a grind using the effect and summoning a copy of Armor in main phase 2 using the effect, flipping it down, setting a Bluff Soul Charge back over to Vulpix, who gets a copy of Torrential. So, this game is not over yet. Setting that copy of Red Gadget, setting the Torrential back over to 3D, who gets a Mind Control. So now maybe it is going to be over pretty soon. Getting a copy of Accelerator by flipping up that Armor. And Mind Control comes down and taking that Red Gadget, flipping it up, overlaying, and going for a Direwolf. That is going to force out that copy of Torrential maybe, but it looks like they sort of know it, that is the end of the game. The Accelerator is going to be summoned, and, Vulpix is going to scoop that one up. So moving on now into a game number 2, we will see Vulpix start this one out. Opening hands, we see Wiretap, Fiendish Chain, MK2, Geargia Gear, and Arsenal. And on the other side, we see Red Gadget, Trap Trick Trap Hole Nightmare, Red Gadget, Rank Up Magic, Quick Chaos, and Fiendish Chain. And here Vulpix will get a draw for turn, getting a copy of Yellow Gadget. It definitely seems like this is going to be a slow start from Vulpix here, who's going to start their turn by normal summoning the Yellow Gadget and using the effect getting a copy of Green Gadget before setting it to back row over to 3D, who now gets a copy of Maxi, normal summoning the copy of Arsenal and swinging over that copy of Yellow Gadget, going to main phase 2 using the effect and summoning an Armor, which is then going to trigger its effect, trying to set itself face down, but that is going to be met with the Trap Tricks Trap Hole Nightmare. So here 3 3D is just going to set 3 back row and pass it over to Vulpix, who now gets a copy of MST. And from here, it looks like they're going to blind MST the Fiendish Chain before normal summoning the copy of Red Gadget, getting a copy of Yellow Gadget, and going to battle phase, swinging in for 13 damage. And in end phase, we will see 3D go and use the Gear, summoning a copy of Geargiano and MK2 before drawing for turn, getting a copy of Firehand. So here they're going to start their turn by overlaying into a copy of Geargigant X, and they are going to think using the effect, and we see Vulpix chain that copy of Fiendish Chain, but 3D does have the wiretap, so the Geargigant will be able to resolve, going, and let's see what they add here, getting a copy of Accelerator. So MK2 plus Accelerator is going to be a lot of damage, summoning the MK2, bringing back the copy of Geargiano, going for a Soul of Silver Mountain. Here we see them just go to battle phase, playing it a little slower, going and running over the Red Gadget. And here the Soul Silver Mountain will be able to bring back the copy of Armor, swinging in with the Geargigant, going to main phase 2, using the Armor and flipping itself face down before passing turn to Vulpix. Here Vulpix gets a copy of Red Gadget, so unfortunate for them, not really seeing any extenders here, and it's going to be rough, so they just scoop it up. They really needed something. Oh, they drew the next card, which was going to be the Kagero Kage, but I'll be honest, I don't think they had another turn in them. So a really grindy game 1. That was a really great game. Very unfortunate. This game 2 from Vulpix, just not seeing any extenders, no Tin Goldfish, Kagero Kages, not even a double summon. So that was a little rough, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like on it, comment any questions or videos you want to see in the future, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to get notified anytime I put a new video out, share this video with your friends, and don't forget to go down to the video description to find out how you can send in your hat format replays. Whether you won or lost, if you thought the deck you or your opponent was playing was pretty cool, feel free to send that in. I'm sure a lot of people would love to see it. But anyways, guys, I will see you in the next video.